Alright guys, Jameson and Alex here. Today, we're bringing you something special. We have the Gem Channeler Artificer Subclass.
Yes.
This is from us.
Freaking us.
So, we'll have a link down below. It's free to download.
Yes.
But what we're going to do is go through all the abilities, kind of explain how the subclass works, our thoughts, kind of how we made it, that kind of thing. Creator, brainchild behind this is the third person who you never see.
Yeah.
Which is Jacob.
Yeah, he's our behind the scenes like main playtester, idea bouncer offer.
Yes.
And he had the highest percentage of input he's ever had on any of our stuff with this subclass for sure.
Yeah. Typically it's like one of the three of us will come up with an idea and then we kind of like all talk about it. And then
make suggestions,
I get the
bouncing ideas.
I'm the one who puts the final stamp on. I'm like, okay, I think this is okay. With our subclass series and how that works if you've not seen it.
But we're not going to score our own thing.
We're not going to score our own, but we will talk about some RP stuff, some combat stuff.
I have no doubt in my mind that their comments is going to be full of stuff saying, I score this, and this.
Yes. When you're making a subclass, I think like the perfect score to shoot for, if it was us rating our own subclass, it would be like 4s across the board, like 4 to 5 for all like RP combat.
Or at least, I mean, to me, maybe the total is like 12.
Sure, the total, that's fine. Because sometimes you want to focus more on combat.
You really want that combat, or you really want the RP, so maybe you want to lean more to one side, but you want that like 12.
But let's just get right into it.
All right,
spells.
We're gonna get some specific spells. These may seem like they're all over the place, but there's going to be some rhyme or reason to these. It will make sense.
Stay with us. Stay with us.
So, speak with animals, chromatic orb, beast sense, dragon's breath, Melf's minute meteors, erupting earth, storm sphere, aura of purity, anti-life shell, and commune with nature.
Yes.
Also, and I would like to preface this as well. Our thoughts with, if you've been following any of our other patron stuff, this would be considered like one of the warden.
It is. So wait,
subclasses.
The way this one is weird because it's Artificer, so there's weird copyright like stuff with Artificer, so that's why we're releasing it for free, or it's technically pay what you want. If you want to give us whatever you want, that's fine, but you can download it for free. We'll have the link down below.
Anything is appreciated, obviously, with that kind of thing.
DM's Guild lets you use official stuff, so that's why we can use this spell list, and also why we can even make a subclass for the Artificer, because we're following the rules that they put on DM's Guild.
The very specific rules.
So yes. But if you want to see other stuff that's, ours fully, we do have our Patreon where we have a bunch of subclasses and stuff on there.
Yep. Lots and lots of stuff.
Yes. So, you get some interesting spells, good mix. We also get a 3rd level Jeweler. You gain proficiency with Jeweler's tools. And something Alex always was a fan of and made sure we had on here is, if you already have the proficiency, you can choose to gain proficiency of a different arts and tools.
That was an immediate thing. Like, I stressed this so hard.
You get this, but if you already have it,
you get something else. All right, so the next ability is called Gem Channeling. Now, if that sounds familiar, it's because it's what the subclass is titled.
Yes, this is
and
the
you're going to get this
feature.
Is the main framework of what this subclass is about. Your studies have taught you how to condense, shape, and refine the elements into magically faceted gems of your choosing. You can spend 6 hours of uninterrupted work with jeweler's tools to create or replace a gem. If you make more than the maximum number of gems, the oldest becomes unstable and harmlessly disintegrates. I wish it would explode into small fireworks.
Sure, go ahead. We will allow you to do so.
Again, but the point is it doesn't explode and cause massive damage or anything. It's just
not at this level.
No. Oh, did you do some
foreshadowing?
You can craft a number of gems equal to your proficiency bonus, but can only channel one at a time. You can spend 1 hour studying a gem to channel it, or change a channeled gem to a different gem you have crafted. While a gem is being channeled, it can be used as a spellcasting focus.
Yes. Always good. So, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different kinds of gems, and each one has different abilities that are tied to it. So, first up, I have to preface with this.
Oh, yeah.
A gem's elemental frequencies grant unique benefits while it remains within 30 feet of you. So there are shenanigans that could be done, like if you give it to someone else, and as long as you stay near them, give it to a paladin or somebody who already has an aura.
We just making auras up in here.
Whatever. Or you can toss it back and forth if you need it.
Catch!
Within a certain range. Up to you. Have fun with it.
Yep.
First up, and probably the most complicated for me to balance with wording-wise, was the Amethyst.
Yes.
So, you learn the Lightning, Lure, and Gust cantrips. So the theme here is going to be air, wind.
Oh.
Yep. At level 5, your movement speed increases by 5 feet, and you can use a bonus action to grant yourself a flying speed equal to your walking speed until the end of your next turn. While flying in this way, you cannot fly higher than 10 feet above a surface, and attempting to do so causes you to fall immediately until you are within 10 feet above a surface again. So essentially, you're just floating. The reason this causes so much issues is because hovering is like an actual keyword in 5th edition, where like if you have flying, you can be hovering and you can't be knocked prone, so you couldn't really say hovering if you didn't have fly speed because it didn't make sense.
Yep.
And if you say you float, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So we're just like, we're going to go with fly speed, and it's just limited, and it has this unique use to it, and then you can basically keep using a bonus action at each turn to keep yourself aloft. So it gives you a way to do that, but you just can't fly into the heavens.
Yeah.
You can kind of just get over difficult terrain.
That's really the biggest thing we had in mind with it was just getting around difficult terrain.
So it just kind of gives you with the flow. And then at level 9, you can touch your Amethyst as a bonus action to gain an additional 15 foot of movement until the end of your turn. Movement made in this way does not provoke opportunity attacks. So you're going to get several different things here, all focused around wind and speed and dexterity.
You will notice that all of these gems will start off getting access to them at level 3, and they will have an additional feature at 5, 9, and 15. So all of them get to do scaling and do wonderful things. Next up is the Emerald. You learn the Thunderclap and Druidcraft cantrips. At level 5, you can touch your Emerald as a bonus action to gain temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. At level 9, you and allies within 10 feet of your Emerald gain advantage on saving throws against being blinded, paralyzed, and poisoned.
Yeah, so that's another thing where if you're trying to save 2 people, you could chuck the gem over towards them or something.
Yep.
Who knows? It's up on you. But the thing that we have on here, as you'll notice, is you're going to get 2 cantrips for each one of these that you're going to learn.
Yep.
Try to lean one more towards an RP and one more towards combat, so you get some utility.
That was the intent.
With that, and then, giving you some other niche RP potential stuff depending on which one you take for each of these as well. So the third option is Garnet. You learn Firebolt and Control Flames. At level 5, you gain advantage on initiative rolls. At level 9, if you would make a Strength or Constitution save, you may touch your Garnet as a reaction to add 1d4 to the roll. You may see the result of the check before you use this feature, which that's just an extra thing to make it a little bit stronger.
Yep.
Because usually you can't see a result before you roll it, so it lets you know, like, I have a chance to get this, which lets you decide if you really want to use that reaction or not, if you don't want to save it. So, that's what it is.
Next up is the Sapphire. You learn the Frostbite and Shape Water cantrips. At level 5, when rolling hit die to regain hit points, you always recover the maximum amount. Level 9, when you make a Wisdom or Intelligence saving throw, you may touch your Sapphire as a reaction to add 1d4 to the roll. You may see the result of the check before you use this feature.
Yes. And lastly, we have Topaz. You learn the Acid Splash and Mold Earth cantrips. At level 5, your AC increases by 1, and you cannot be moved or knocked prone against your will. At level 9, you and allies within 10 feet of your Topaz gain advantage on saving throws against being deafened, petrified, or stunned.
Here we go.
Yes. And then one last little thing on here. Gem Channelers sometimes affix their gems to existing items or craft rings, amulets, or other items to give their gems more practical or ornamental uses. You can also summon or dismiss any number of gems from a unique Channeler pocket dimension as a bonus action. So you always will have your gems on you.
And somebody tries to, just mug you, take you, just like, oh, what gems?
Dismiss.
Just go away. At level 5, we have Diamond in the Rough. You learn how to channel the elements in more potent ways. While using one of your gems as a spellcasting focus, you may re-roll any number of 1s or 2s when rolling damage for a spell. You must use the new rolls, even if they are 1s or 2s.
Yes. And I think something that's nice to keep in mind with that, too, is it's when you cast a spell.
It does not say...
Which would include cantrips.
That's right.
Yes. Level 9, we have Resilience Under Pressure. You begin to notice positive changes in your health from long-term exposure to the gem's pure auras. Your hit point maximum increases by 10, and whenever you roll one of your hit dice, such as to regain hit points during a short rest, or when you gain a level in this class, you can roll a d10 instead of a d8. This one was probably the second weirdest thing, because originally Alex and Jacob just were like, your hit die becomes a d10.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I was like, it's a a little weird there, but essentially this is going to give you the same
Yep.
effect of that for like 99% of the time.
Yep.
Because that's really when you would roll it, is when you're leveling up or taking short rest.
Yes.
Healing. So you still get the effects of it without making it, weird on your character sheet or whatever
Sure.
to do all that too. So we'll get confused if you multi-class.
Yeah.
Because you're like, what happens? So just simplify that on there. And then addition to this, you may channel up to 2 different gems simultaneously.
You get to start having a lot of fun level 9.
Yeah. And you can also swap out one or both gems when you study. So you
Right.
have just 1 for 1.
Yeah. So yeah, you can keep one, swap the other out, however you want to do that.
Yes.
And finally, at 15, we have Gaia's Retribution. Your mastery over the elements allows you to overchannel your gems to devastating effect. There's this foreshadowing coming through. As an action, you can shatter a gem, unleashing elemental havoc on your foes. Choose any number of creatures within 30 feet of you. Each creature must make a dexterity saving throw, taking 8d8 damage, matching the chosen gem's type. Lightning for Amethyst, Thunder for Emerald, Fire for Garnet, Cold for Sapphire, and Acid for Topaz. On a failure, or half as much on a successful throw, obviously, the gem chosen is then destroyed, and you immediately lose any channeling benefits granted by it if it was being channeled.
Yeah, I just picture it basically as like you take it and you crush it, and you can choose where it arcs off and hits because you are choosing within a radius.
Yeah, or I'm thinking just spike a sucker on the ground.
Yeah. And I think the thing that's cool with that too is it gives you this kind of a way to manage your gems as well as a resource because you can only make a number equal to your proficiency bonus.
Yep.
And it takes 6 hours to make another one.
Right.
So you can break all 6 of them at turn after turn after turn after turn.
You could smash a bunch of gems for a bunch of damage, but then you have nothing for like a couple of days. Like you can make 1 a day pretty much most of the time.
Right. So I think that's a really interesting way to kind of like you can do this, but you'll pay the cost for it if you
really needed it. Like if you got 2 people in your party, you're down, and you're trying to kill something, like you can smash.
Yep, you can do that.
Like, we've seen a couple of other classes like that. I think the Chronergy Wizard has like a couple of abilities that like 1d4 long rests is how long it takes to recharge things.
There's some classes that have some stuff like that.
It's a very uncommon thing, and we kind of liked the idea of doing something that lets you be completely wild if you wanted to be, but there would be some consequences for it.
And there's also been some that are like you can do it again, but you get a level of exhaustion each time. Like there's stuff like that too that we've seen as well. But yeah, it's I think it's interesting to have those dynamics where you can keep doing something, but
there's a cost.
But should you keep doing that? So, and again, too, like I think the thought process with this one, because I think because it was mostly Jacob and Alex that did this. So.
I mean, and again, giving him great majority of the credit, I literally had the idea of it would be cool to see the like
channel
focused around like gems and jewel crafting and things like that. And of course, small thing. Jacob has a history of working in geology, so it was like he's like, "Oh, I got this," and then I just kind of helped him bounce the ideas and try to balance things through after that. Because it's like I had the framework of the idea, and he just took off. Yeah, really love this. I would like to see more subclasses in general that find a way to make like artisans' tools effective into a class. Like you're so good as an artisan. Right, because there's some there's
like Forge Cleric. There's some
that are out there that kind of lean into it. Forge Cleric, like there's some brewer stuff that are out there. Drunken Master Monk. There's some stuff that are out there, but I would like to see more delving into all of the other artisans' tools that are out there. Spoiler alert for things that my brain's working on.
Yeah, so this is again free DM's Guild link down below. If you guys want to check this out, download it for yourselves, play it. Again, too, if we ever notice any changes or anything, we'll automatically update that, post it on the thing or whatever. So just check for updates if you need to. And you also have Discord. Join our Discord server on there.
And the biggest thing to stress, if you really like this, please check out the Patreon because we have released. If you haven't seen any of our videos, 5. There's 5 as of date. There are 5 issues that have a combination of subclasses and spells and magic items and all this other stuff.
Art,
some great artwork. But check it out.
We have. There's really just a quick thing for it. Each issue of our like Patreon magazine thing is focused on a different faction. There's 4 major factions. You have your Inksworn, which are like this mysterious, inky, tendrily black goo tar magic stuff. Weird, creepy. And then you have the sanguinarians, which are like the blood magic, more like necromancery.
We got like 2 different dark factions.
Yeah.
Oozy and blood people.
And then you have the wardens, which this one would go with, which is like the elemental. They deal with like all the elements.
Yeah, nature, what's primal. Yep.
And then last we have the ascendant, which are like the Demacia.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Mono white. MTG,
yeah, it's like I think ancient Greece. What is the best society can bring to us?
Like civilized warrior.
The peak.
Fighter,
the peak
organization.
The peak of. I mean, there's more races obviously, but what's the peak of humanity? Like the peak of morals?
Right.
Mortals. That's what I meant to say.
Got there.
But anyway, like what's the best? Like without delving into all these excess forces, like what's the best that I can bring or we can bring as a collective group?
And so far, with each of those PDFs are like 10 to 14 or 15 pages. There's some art and stuff on there, so like the actual stuff. They all have a race, subclass. They'll have magic items.
Spells.
Most of them have spells or monsters. So there's going to have a mixture of all those different things. Try to touch all the bases, but our main things are going to be like subclasses and races, I think, are really go-to stuff on here. Because that's what we like to talk about and review, obviously.
If you're not new to our channel, you know this.
But yeah, we're just really excited to be able to share this with you guys. Something that we've had in the works for a long time. Hopefully you'll see more from us. And again, Patreon as always, more coming. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.